Hey, sports fans. Yeah, happy Saturday. So fucking hot here in El Paso. I'm old. I'm 77. I just fucking got no energy. Uh, what are you gonna do here? I got a duplex. Inherited my dad's old rental house. It's got two like alcoves. I guess that's what you call them. I had a cats when I was out driving a truck, and the cats come in, made this place their home. Shit all over the fucking place. That little poor. I throw them out. I don't like cats, so I don't like picking up shit. I don't like the way it smells. It attracts bugs. But all the cat ladies, my friends, and all. Oh my god! I'm sorry. I just it's like I just seen a short clip right now to say a Tyrus on Gutfield. Gutfield. They're all from California. And a Sicilian girl is south of San Francisco, a little bit like that. They're having a gay march today or some shit. Fucking queer country this is, and corrupt. Anyhow, Tyrus, I'm looking at him. The guy. Well, I was arrested. I'm sorry, I didn't know that because I was out driving truck and taking care of my disabled son, and they're making millions. And I won't go back to Cal. Fuck you. I lived in New York in the '70s. Got a picture with Snoop Dogg, my favorite. I says, hey, you know what? Fuck Snoop Dogg. I said, I was driving a truck 120 hours a week down in the harbor. You know, he's over there getting stung. He's from Compton and Long Beach. Fucking, it's called work. Hey, fucking nigger. That's all. Now, I guess they want to get him for that murder on Tupac where Diddy gave him $1 million or some shit. Hey, fuck all them motherfuckers, man. Bad Boy record that Clive Davis died. I think he was 94. Fucking fag and a half from New York. You know, I don't like faggots, man. Or corruption. I'm sorry, unless you're either stupid or disabled. My son was all fucked up. He couldn't do shit, but had medical problems. But if you're halfway normal in this country, man, fucking. So I don't like corruption either. That you know, that includes Trump. I like Trump, but he's a businessman. But if he's corrupt, I don't know. I guess you have to be in business. So you just go to work, do your thing. My dad had plenty back in the. He was born in 1905. He'd be like 115, 120. Yeah, died 20 years ago, but work, Monday through Friday. He was selling janitorial supplies, paper towels and mops and brooms and all that shit. For I went to New York City. I'm talking to this black guy. He was talking about blacks and all that. Motherfuckers. I was working. I got a job. There's, I think, two employment agencies back 1970. Two employment agencies every block. Stayed there at Grand Central. This weird motherfucker over at night. Cold as fuck. Weird motherfuckers out there. I said, I'm going to hitchhike back to California. Fuck this place. And I just got there. And here come the girls. It's 6:37 in the morning from getting off the trains at Long Island and whatnot. And micro mini skirts, high heels, dolled up. I said, oh, fuck. I mean, like this. I said, "Oh fuck, I'm going to stay here." And I love women, you know. I get a job. Like I went across the street. I asked somebody, "Where's an employment?" Across the street, there's one right there. Went over there, started working for Restaurant Associates. They put me at, I just had my driver's license, and it, I started out on at 42nd and 8th at the Child's Restaurant, my first job. Fucking what a, well, it wasn't too bad, really, but I sit on a cup of coffee for an hour or two. I think it was 50 cents, and they'd leave you a quarter or something. I think back then it was $1.50 an hour plus tips or something. I made 10, $12. You know, you get a room back then for, I think, I had a room down on Chambers by the World Trade Center, $5. I mean, it's a piece of shit, but got some clean sheets. You're fucking tired. You take a shower down the hall. What the fuck, But I look at these videos with uh, New York and all the protests, the big cities, all these young people that uh, it's almost it is to me. I'm 77. It's beyond my comprehension, and it's on and on. They have flipped the scenario that I guess you're not cool if you're you got to be protesting. They don't know how to fight one. There's five or six guys on one, or you're beating up a girl, sucker punching a girl, fucking. And then the baby boomer said, if you grew up in the 50s, I watched YouTube last night. It says the reason is because after like 52, 53, the Korean War, there was peacetime till Vietnam. There was about 7, 8 years of peacetime. That's when I was born in '49. So the economy was real good after World War II. They started doing track housing and work, industrialization, and like that. So there was, I think, that was the most money, from working and building and shit, and the dollar bill was strong, and you could get your money's worth. My dad made $175 a week. This is after 20 years or something. I saw one paycheck in my commission on sales. But, I used to go to the movies downtown El Paso for, I think it was a dime. You get a thing of popcorn for a dime or a nickel. I forget. You had them big pickles. I think there was a nickel, 5 cents. The candy bars, the big ones, not the big ones. Well, I call them normal size, but just a regular candy bar was like a nickel. When you're a kid and you're active, you don't need much. You don't need to eat too much, but a bottle of soda was a nickel. So if you're making 175 a week, you can feed your, pay your mortgage, put gas in the car, and feed your family. I think a shirt was $1.25, $1.50 a dress shirt made out of cotton. So, like, I went to the truck stop over there with the whites in Virginia. They made it was like a shopping mall, a little shopping mall, and went in the pharmacy thing. The Levi's jeans My mom used to give me a pair of Levi's jeans. You'd wear it for 2 or 3 years. I don't know, $5, $6, something like that. But they're fucking $85. I said, fuck that. I go to Walmart. I get they were $8 now to 12, $14 for that thin denim. So I'm trying to understand this because uh, I feel bad partly for the young people who got no hope because, but what I would advise them is to, I guess, get involved with politics. I don't know that much about politics. I never paid attention to that. But to change the laws to help yourself, we have one guy right now. He says, "Oh, the 50 and 60-year-old guys won't retire." Yeah, because you got no money coming in, stupid. He works with him, and I can't. And then he says, "Well, he contradicted himself, idiot. I can't get a job, or we can't get a job because the 50 and 60-year-old guys won't retire. So you can't get a job." My buddy came from, I don't know, whatever. He was up in Albuquerque. So he came, oh, this guy, 40 something years, is Long Beach, California. He got a job a block over at the Supreme Laundry, has been there, I think, since the 40s. My mother used to go. They would dry clean your clothes or whatever. They remodel. They own basically two blocks, one for parking and got a nice building to work. It's all these Mexican, I guess they're immigrants or whatever. That they work there folding blankets, dry clean the blankets from Fort Bliss. I guess they got a contract. Well, they've been here so fucking long. He says, "Man, your arms get tired. You pull them out of the machine and fold them. You know, $10 an hour." I says, "Well, I met him up in Long Beach, California, and we're in El Paso. It's cheap labor, $10 an hour." I says, "Well," I said, he's 55, 56. I said, "But $10 an hour, if you work 40, that's $400 a week to take out tax. You got 300 a week clean." I said, "Man, in El Paso, you could live like a king for 300 a week." So I get Social Security and, I got to pay everything myself, which is fine. I'm talking to this guy, Henry, this old guy. I met him about a year and a half ago. I just retired. He was walking down the street. Got a ripped T-shirt. He's 10 years younger, 12 years younger. I'm living with my mother. I thought you told me about 4 or 5 months ago you was moving in with his girl, and he got a cousin or something that was going to get married, and they talked to Papa and the uncle. He says, the guy has already got 3 divorces. We don't want that. So my sister had her first husband. He was chasing her drunk with a gun or some shit. My dad said, "Divorce him." You know, I was looking at what do you call it? One that played Married with Children. Applegate. What's her name? The blonde, the young blonde girl that was. Well, anyhow, she was Christina Applegate. So anyhow, she wants to find. She had her dad was about 70. It was 3 years ago. I guess she was 70 back then, and trying to find his mother and father. His father abused his mother. She was an alcoholic. They went to New Jersey to Trenton, looked up the death records and or any articles in the paper and all that, and it was kind of sad. They went to her gravesite and all that. But they compared to them, they were struggling back then. He finally got a divorce from. They had a separation, and they kept records of all that. And she took care of the kid. Back then, the courts used to give custody to the mother. I guess they separated, and that her father was a kid back then. So till he was about 8 or something, and she died when he was like 13. Cirrhosis of the liver, alcoholism. So I said, "Oh, here we go." I was an alcoholic. I'm lucky I'm alive, you know. But I always liked her. She always, you know, she played the dumb blonde and all that, but she seemed kind of mellow, that California style. But looking at her, she's nice looking, but living in a nice house now, she could do something like that. Hired a lawyer to get some information in Jersey and, you know, flying her dad in and she got a nice house. She must have made a ton of money from that. 11 years on television. You know, it's good for you. You're lucky. You're a white blonde girl and all that. Then you got Caitlin Clark, the basketball player. She's 8'12" or something. But the black, I call them niggers, you know, because that's what they are. They gotta give them a chokehold and pinch the neck and elbows and very violent actually. If you're gonna play, I was athletic and I really don't appreciate that. And the fact is that because you're black, you know, that shit, man, that's some bullshit, you know. So I looked up, she's making, I think, half a million a year. She's 22, 23, somewhere around there. You know, what the fuck? Why do you hate? Well, first of all, why do you hate? I hung out with blacks and, since I was a kid, we had them in school. You know, I had my friends was black. I mean, black. I had one guy that taught me how to we played basketball, and he'd buy me an ice cream at lunchtime. You know, all the Mexicans. One guy started yelling at him. He was walking by me and him playing basketball like Saturday or something. And he walked over to the guy. There was a chain link fence. He said something, blah blah blah. The guy walked off. He said, why are you playing with that nigger?" I didn't know what to do, man. You know, but and Butts, Don Butts, I forget his name. You know, the guy sitting behind me is in like 9, 10 years old. He said, "Hey, man," he said, "you know what this is?" I'm yeah, you know, I said, "No, man, what?" That means fuck you. I said, "Oh, okay, so that's how I learned how to throw a finger, you know." One guy, Willie Washington, man, we was 10 playing baseball. I had this old glove. My brother died, but he had this baseball glove. And it was all dried up, you know, probably 5, 6 years old or more. You know, I put some oil on it, didn't hardly do any good. It was real stiff. But that's all I had. My dad wouldn't buy me a new glove. So I used that, and you got the baseball glove. It's got a little web. And so Willie Washington was starting with the elementary school baseball team. He said, "I'm going to throw you a fastball." He says, "You can't, I mean, straight, right to the point, all that." So we got about 20 feet away, more than that. You know. My Cadillac's 22 feet or something. You got about, I don't know, maybe about 40 feet, 2 or 3 car lengths away, and he winds up and throws a fastball right. I mean, it was fast, man. So I catch it with my hand. I didn't know any better. Motherfucker, I can still remember that, isn't it? And I said, "Oh shit, man." And he said, "Look, man," he said, he points, there's a web in the glove. He said, "Don't catch it with your hand. Catch it catch you with that web. So that's how I learned how to catch a fastball, you know. And I was a spelling bee champ, and Sandra Ward, she was a pretty hot black girl, she looked good, man. And all through high school, when I started drinking too much, she was like, she didn't know me no more. That's all right. But she was, I competed against her with, in spelling bee. I won. I'm part I don't know if it's Mexican. I'm German originally, Gutierrez, and in Spain. It's also got my grandmother's Munoz and Martinez around Madrid. And then my granddad was a doctor. My dad went to Guanajuato, Mexico, and then him and his mother moved up here back in I'm guessing around 1915 to 1920. And he did well, and just take it easy like a motherfucker. He says you work hard, you work long, after years and save your money. He says, then let the money work for you. So I never really quite got that. I'm an American consumer. I grew up in school over here. I'm brainwashed. I'm looking at MK Ultra this morning and last night with experimental LSD. I did 100 trips. I don't know. Maybe that's what's wrong with me. But they experimented on people. They released the records, and then I guess last week or something, the CIA came to Tulsi Grammar's or Tulsi Gabbard's office or something and took those records back. I'm looking at it. It was the OSS, the secret, uh, whatever, uh, and that was the intelligence community back in Eisenhower up to 1948, World War II and shit. And then it says then they changed the name to the Central Intelligence Agency, 47, 48, around there. And Eisenhower had told Kennedy or told the American public, that be, be, we have to watch and be fearful of the dark state, this dark state. And from what it's revealing in little bits and pieces of CIA documents and stuff that people have been getting for years through Congress and whatnot, that they would assassinate as basically for they could do whatever they want basically all over the world. It's listed 10 or 12 countries where they came in, assassinated the head of the country, and basically took it over. So that I'm going to say that type of people that were Dulles, Alan Dulles, with the glasses and the pipe, smoking a pipe, and it's all suit and ties. Doctors, engineers, it's all supposedly some of the Nazis come from after Hitler, after World War II. They put them in the NASA program with the engine. The smarter ones, the better ones, and a lot of them went to Argentina or something. Nazis. I don't know, man. Say when America first came over, I think some of the Spanish and English started taking over, like basically the East Coast all the way to the Ohio River, like Pennsylvania, West Virginia, all that shit. It was all Indian tribes all over the place. They took the land, they defeated the Indians, and the Indians got together to form an alliance. There's like six different tribes, and they wait in the woods or something. Here come the British, and they would ambush them. They wanted, they still wanted that land, so they went to that Indian alliance and said, "Well, we'll buy it from you." I don't know if they paid them or not, but they basically took the land and then they started selling it to investors. This is the history. So this chaos you got going on in the country right now. I read my Bible, chaos since day one, going back a couple of thousand years. So, be honest with you, I like the law and order. But this fucking white guy comes, does watering, cleaning up in the front yard. I hear something. They let him off at the bus terminal, and then there was a homeless mission about a mile from here. And they walked down. I'm on the main drag on Montana in El Paso. They walked by, and fucking guy's got a one of those suitcases with the wheels underneath, and he's walking by, and hey, man, he said, talk fucking. I look at him, man. I look down. I said, I don't even want to look at this guy. He's crazy or acting crazy or something. So he kept him. I guess like there's not Mexicans and blacks over here. He's not going to get beat up. There's nobody on the street. Everybody's in a car. Why are you acting stupid like that? I'm this homeowner now, and I'm not going to attack you. Hey, obviously, big tall motherfucker, white boy. But see, I talked to this guy about it's almost 20 years ago, about 18 years. He was blonde hair, blue eyes, tall, nice looking kid. He was walking to the bus terminal or something. So we sat there and talked for an hour, gave him a couple of cigarettes. I guess his parents died or he went to foster care or something. And he started getting locked up when he was 14, 15. And I guess he was 15 or 16. They gave him like 10 years or something. He did his prison time, got out, and said, I'm looking for a job. And I said, well, get a job. They found him making jeans, 8, $10 an hour. It was Abilene, Texas. Somewhere. I mean, it was 2 or 3 hour drive from here. So they had, I guess he was working with a state program or something to give him bus fare or whatever. And he's walking by a couple of weeks later, and he says, "Hey, I got this fucking job." I said, "Man, I said that's good. That's great. Great. He's single, got no expenses." I said, "Well, just hang on to your money and just show up every day. That's how it's done. Uh, I don't know what happened to that guy. You got the AA and the NA, but these I don't even want to call them jokers, dumbass motherfuckers. I called my friend Irene today. And I says, "Well, I did uh, more alcohol. That's the environment I grew up in." She has kind of a smart ass California attitude, all that shit. Why you didn't have what was your moral attitude against drugs or something? That's stupid fucking remark just to try to put you down or get a laugh. That's why I hate California anymore. It's all. I first came back from New York. I went to AA Club Costa Mesa, and everybody gets up to the podium to give a little 1 minute, 2 minute, blah blah blah. And everybody, I guess they're auditioning for a comedy show. This is a deadly serious fucking program. Not that you can't laugh, but it's like every motherfucker, every fucking day is I'm coming off the Bowery and shit, so it's a much cleaner, nicer environment. And then every time I say something, first thing is coffee. Well, you from New York? First, fuck it, the coffee. Then they make fun of you. And how old are you? I'm like 20. Oh, you're old, dude. Their thing is, fuck you. I had one guy come up to me. I forgot. I forgot the guy, but he's, hey, Vic, they were having a, what do you call it? The convention, not a convention. It's all weekend, a marathon. And he said, hey, Vic, man, how you doing, man? I had about 5, 6 years by the grace of God, and I don't remember the guy. What was your name again? I forgot. He told me his name. Yeah, I was listening to you, man. You inspired me. I got 3 years now, or 4 years, something like that. It paid me a compliment. A compliment. It's the program, and you give the program away like they gave it to you. So it's not to feed my ego or nothing, but I appreciated that. That you're not talking to the fucking wall. Somebody's actually paying attention, which they should, like me. You know, I listen to fucking guys, and they just started to make sense after a while. That it's a disease. It's not a moral dilemma. Not that I'm a saint. I'm a piece of shit, really, but you can change, and I do the best I can with what I got. And I'm looking at Robert De Niro. Well, fuck Trump. What the fuck? You got money like a motherfucker. You've had a successful career. Now you fucking 90 years old or something, and you that's I don't know. Fucking, they make this culture, this society makes the criminal the hero. Like I see Danny Trejo from L.A. that he went to prison. He come out. I think he's in East L.A., but he got himself a restaurant and he's making donuts and I guess Mexican food. Fucking respect the fuck out of the guy. At least he learned something in prison. You got a guy this week's drunk driving while intoxicated. So 5, 6 people, the usual suspects, kind of browbeaten, kind of ugly. Probably got no self esteem because they think they're supposed to be a superstar or a glamour puss or something. It's all you're bombarded with stuff on Instagram, Facebook, but facial products. All the girls now they all go like this and the fucking in the clothes, the fashion. When you're young, that's fine, or if you got that kind of money, that's fine. But these little like Trump, he's a low IQ. And a couple of comments. It says should have stayed at home to drink or to get drunk. It's cheaper. Bars are expensive. Uh, Alcohol don't care, But I see one guy. This guy got tattoos all over his fucking face. About 20 something. What the fuck, man? I've seen a couple of the truck stop, man. They got tattoos on their face, but part of that too. My dad would have said it. I'm turning into my dad. You're so desperate for attention, even negative attention. I ain't all that, but look how good looking I am. I don't want to put tattoos on me. I got like three or four tattoos. They're all faded. That doesn't mean nothing, you know. Hey, to me, I had a sports. They stole my motorcycle. I was working on that motherfucker, my '98 Freightliner. Got to fix my old Cadillac and worked on cars. '53 Chevy I started with. But if you say something like that, well, the first thing, it's all about money. Well, this is business. It's about money. What do you? Why did somebody tell you it's about tattoos? So I guess in the tattoo society, like my buddy that came, oh, he was in the tattoos and he ended up, fuck, he's covered. Not his face though, a Sicilian motherfucker. If that gets you off, I mean, you get off on that, whatever. I just never. And it costs money too. I don't want to spend my money on tattoos. The truckers say that, yeah, these guys bitching and complaining. They can't afford to be an owner operator. You're spending, two, three, $400 on tattoos. You could have bought a tire, fix your truck. You get the message. I hope. A lot of people don't. They don't get it. The attention span is short, and I guess I'm speaking a different language to them because I look at some of the comments and all. It's just like this one guy is. I put the Everly Brothers up on my smartphone. I was making an Instagram, and I said, "Here, I'm on my laptop, the Everly Brothers. And I got my headset on. I was listening to it, but I forgot they can't hear. I thought I'm thinking they can hear the music. One guy makes a one guy with a Sanskrit or raghead or something. Well, motherfucker, I don't. You see, I speak English. It's world global, the internet, but you can't tell I'm an American. Uh, I don't read Arabic, and I don't want to. I'm too old for all that shit. So why do you even bother to put a comment? Like I say, hate or death threats or whatever. Yeah, don't even bother. I'm half dead. I'm half gone anyhow. And then this guy puts, "Hey, Unc." Guess that means old person. I gotta, my nephew's is. This is in all capital letters. Unc, we can't. You're Mutted. You're mudded. And I says, does he mean muted? I looked it up on Google. Muted, where you cut the sound off, and then another guy put all capital letters. We can't hear you. Well, this is the ignorance I'm talking. Well, thanks for communicating. I put thank you, but it's first of all, don't use all caps. You're ignorant, and then second of all, uh, would it be too much trouble to say uh, the sound of the video is muted? You said you're muted, mudded, misspelled. You can't even fucking spell. You Google it. You look it up, motherfucker. That's the way I feel about that because I'm up to here with this fucking horseshit. Because the way they act is so fucking arrogant. It's like these Muslims and all. You're gonna make a big community spotless, clean, all the latest. You got Mercedes Benz, and basically it's death to America and these closed mosques and shit they got. You're trying to pretend, but let me ask you a question. You got 100 or 1,000 family, family members or people involved. They got a thing this morning on Khomeini, the head of the Iranian Guard. It's not the Iranian people; it's the Iranian Guard, like Hezbollah or something. Excuse me. And I said, this guy here, he's got money at Chase Bank. He plays the stock market. He's got tons of money. The people got all kinds of money. They look raggedy, so to speak. I didn't say how much he got, but I'm guessing I ain't got shit, brother. I'm guessing this fucking raghead uh, probably got it from Minnesota. That fraud shit got probably 100. Let's get real. I don't know. I'm just guessing. Probably $1 million, and and then properties over here in Greece and England got a small mansion, not a tent, a camel in a tent. So it's fucking got connections with people that get fucking Trump. Well, they give Trump a fucking $400 million airplane, luxury airplane. They made a business deal with it. These motherfuckers, sand jockeys, camel jockey motherfuckers. You know, it's the way of the world. It's not like it used to be either. But getting back to the point, so you got all these Muslim motherfuckers that, uh, why the fuck do you have to come over here to this country? If you got that, I'll be honest with you, from what I've seen, Japan's supposed to be beautiful, but like the Chinese and the Japanese, they don't. I think they got three Muslims. They won't let them in. Maybe with money or something, but I would pick out Mexico. I would pick out a beautiful spot by the ocean. I like the ocean. They got mountains up there too. Or I've seen pictures of Colombia, Venezuela, not around the earthquakes. Uh, South America by the ocean. Spain, they got them big waves there. Monaco, Monte Carlo, Switzerland. I went to a train when I was doing Eurail Pass. Fucking, it was next to heaven. Cost money, of course, but what? Why don't you move over there? Fucking beautiful. Why the fuck? I'm born and raised in Texas. Why the fuck you? I tell you something. Why the fuck? Because I get a feeling too that these are not filthy rich elites. They just get together and they're well off. But I'm thinking also you must have some kind of connection or something here to Texas, or where you're making pretty good money, and your plan is to become a politician, to take over and make the laws to favor you in your business other than fraud. I went to one before I retired there. I went to I broke down over there when I first started, and they told me to a repair shop. There was kind of like a fire. Oh, they were working on fire trucks in there. I mean, that's top notch, Irish and shit. Uh, but I said, damn, that shit looks familiar. What the fuck's over there by? I think it was I want to say Indiana, somewhere around there by Illinois, or something, on the 70, Interstate 70 or something. But anyhow, I went next door. I don't know. Well, I didn't see it before. I wasn't looking for it, but I looked about a block over. There's a little truck stop there. So I said, fuck, I'm going to park over there. I went over there, went and get something to eat. There's like Muslim ragheads. They got nice little food. The ladies, they're kind of, It's fucking nasty to me. Well, I'm filthy. I stink and everything else. So maybe that's why. But the food was pretty damn good. A little more. It was $20. It got a little rice and something like they call it pita bread. It's kind of like a flour tortilla. But I said, well, I gotta eat. I got a coffee or a soda or something and a piece of dessert. It was 22. Yeah, motherfucker. Yeah. And I sat down. There was a couple of guys next to me. They got up. They ate. They fucking left. By the way, cheap fucking Walmart. You know the hard bench. You know, a little table. I seen yesterday on I think it was Instagram. They got a little ad for this Mexican restaurant. I think it's dark blue or dark aqua color, kind of bluish greenish color, something. It looked familiar. I looked at it in the address down in San Antonio. I forget what street. It shows you inside. They went inside. I said, "Yeah, that's the place." They got the rice and beans and tacos, and we got this and that. And got these motherfuckers. The guy told me about that place. It's the south of San Antonio, going down to Laredo on the Interstate 35. So anyhow, I think that the 10 crosses the 35, and he says, "Yeah, take the 10 to the 35, and then when you get on the 35 going south to Laredo, he says is two X's down. You'll see it, and they got truck parking. They got park about 4 or 5 trucks in there. It's not too big, but I went over there, fucking, and stopped, walk about 40 feet or so. Went in there, fucking. The truck was running good. I was making money. My son had just died. Fucking, I'm sitting there. Here come they give you the chips with the chili. I think I had red chili. And here comes a cop. He sits over there. How you doing? Hey, well, fuck, what am I? It's a fucking cop. You gotta eat those. I ordered the wait to the little Mexican girl. Fucking got a bowl, a good sized bowl, and she comes back with the. I think it took 10, 15 minutes to heat it up or something. I swear to God, I swear to God, I ain't never seen this in my fucking life. New York, LA, and I never thought. The lady brought me a bowl of soup, a good sized fucking bowl. I swear to Christ, it had half a fucking chicken in there. Oh, it said the chicken soup or some shit like that. I ain't expecting nothing. I was fucking starving, man. So I wolfed out on that shit. Got some chili with it, salt and pepper, like that. A couple of flour tortillas or something. Mother of Jesus, man. The thing went out to the truck and back then it was about 16, 17 years ago. Uh, I'm thinking it was like $8, something like that. I left like a $2 tip or something. $10. This is yeah. So I put a comment. I said this is. I went over there a couple of times and affordable. That's the thing. Went over there to Walmart from the San Antonio Petro, that truck stop, and it curves around. It's off the 10. Eh, yeah, I think it's the 45. It goes to Houston. and the 35 goes to Laredo. I think it was on the 45. It was still the 10. I get mixed up over there a little bit. But anyhow, they told me this is Walmart. I'm broke, you know. Yeah, take this around. It curves around. Stay on this highway. I think it was a 10, and it curves around. I don't remember what it was. Get onto the 45 right there. I think something like that. There's a curve, and then you go up about 3 miles. You can see the Walmart over there. You get off, cross over. Man. So I went to I forget I went over there a few times, and then one time for some reason I can't remember, but I take a right when I'm getting off instead of going to Walmart. I take a right. I said, let me take a ride or something to see what's over here to eat, something like that. So I went down. I talked to somebody. Told me they got a fried chicken place or something over there. Went like to the first light, and I made a right or something, and I went down a couple blocks to fried chicken. Just a small little store. I went in there. It's all black over there, but I don't give a fuck, you know. And over there, had like 10 pieces of chicken for $8 or $7 or something. Fuck Kentucky Fried. You know, Kentucky Fried, you're gonna pay 20 or better, but best fucking shit. They give you a couple of rolls with butter or something, hot pepper, you know, jalapeno or something. Unbelievable, man. I know where it is anyhow. That always makes your day, you know, when you can eat good, you know. These truck drivers say, hey, when you're going to LA, you're either on the 10 or the 40 or the 80 up north. Now, of course, dummy, he's a young guy, probably 24, 27. So he don't even bother saying what interstate highway he's on. You know, real trucker, but he's got to make a video. When you're going to LA, this is the worst way station. It's the worst, man. It's the worst. It's the worst. It's the worst. Well, you go down to California, got some hellified mountains. You don't want to kill yourself because you're stupid. You got no experience, and that's the rules that we play by. You know, I told him, I said, why don't you go back to work for McDonald's, motherfucker? Uh, anyhow, he's read a couple of comments. I don't even want to listen to this shit. I've been driving 34 years. I pulled in there they pulled me in for an inspection or something 2 or 3 times. I don't have no problems. That's right. You know, that's what you do. And if you have a problem, if they find something, you got five violations. Let 3 of them go, but you got to fix this and that. The obvious one is the tires. So I always had a problem with tires. Gonna have to call. They give you a list of 2 or 3, 4 phone numbers. And in California, Arizona, they got guys that'll come over, you know, from Love's or Petro or TA. In Missouri, what a fucking money grab, whatever. That's what the guy said. Well, yeah, you're into a money thing, so you need to you kind of need to know what you're doing, which obviously you know the way it's advertised. I seen one yesterday, truck driving school, 2250 on site. Uh, They'll train you how to drive a truck, and then let's say on site to get you your license or to help you get your licenses, some shit on site. So they got a large lot, probably ragheads, 10 of them. They all put their money, or the government lends them 100,000, and everybody thinks they're going to get rich driving a truck. That's some fucking horseshit. When I started, I was on probation in Santa Ana. I was going to school and then pumping gas for $3 an hour, 1982, 83. And I got kind of tired of that shit, but there's no fucking money. I stick my hand out in New York, panhandle, $10 an hour, drunk. That's the difference in the way the money flows. But to California, they told me, well, we're going to ship you back to New York if you don't get a job. I'm looking at the employment is $3 an hour. So I got a job, and the government, if you got a felony, the government will give the owner of the gas station $3,000 incentive to hire you with the felony. So guys said, hey, I hired you, man. I said, I appreciate it, and said, I got in trouble when I was young. He's from Texas, so I said, okay, man. So after a while, I got to drive about 7, 8, 9, 10 miles over there. No fucking money. Come back, my mother lent me her car. I got to pay for gas, all this shit. So Newport Heights, there were guys in the AA. One guy had come out of prison. The other guy was just a drunk or something. Hey, you want to pump gas? We got a little gas station, me and Bill, over at, it's closer, about 3 miles away. But I'm pinching pennies. And he said, I think I was making $3.50 in Santa Ana an hour, but this was $3 an hour. But it's closer, and it's fucking Newport Heights. It's cool. It's a rich fucking neighborhood, but working on a Ferrari. So I moved over there, but I had gone also to Santa Ana. I went to a school for, I think it was accounting. I was thinking about maybe finishing up my college and some shit. I went over there just to get them off my back a little bit. But I went to, in Santa Ana, what do you call it, the employment agency or something. I looked over there and it says it was $6 an hour. Truck driver or working for collecting a child support from these guys that don't pay. You had to go collect or contact them or something. It was $6 an hour working for the county, and they also had a truck driving job in Compton. I started over there, went over there, applied. The guys, and put down the elementary school you went to. What the fuck? I'm fucking 32 years old. What the fuck you need to know what elementary school? Now I see it goes back to first grade mentality, you know. So I had to learn that. But he hired me. Now I'm making $6 an hour. So now we could talk. Hauling containers to and from the harbor. That's a fucking circus down there. Now these fucking longshore. When I left New York, I tried to get into longshore, man, but you gotta have like an Italian or mafia guy walk you in. The same way in LA. So after I got blackballed over there after 2 years, and me, my buddy over there, he said they wanted me to be longshore. They wanted him. He knew the right people. And then Mondo Ramos was the youngest boxer, I say middleweight or something back in '65. He was 17, but he won the world championship or something. He'd come into the AA club. He comes in there smoking a cigar. And I said, "Who the fuck is this guy?" So I got to know him. He said, "Yeah, just go hang out in the hall, the Union Hall." And he said, "When there's a job or an opening available, hey, you got 20, 30 guys in there. It's all Mexican." But Bernie was, he's an old Jewish guy from Brooklyn. What do you call it? Where they pay the union dues. He was in charge of that, the pension fund. Supposed to have like $4 million a week. He took me down to one place. He says, "You want to take away?" He was driving a little '72 Dodge Dart, had a little house, come into AA club. He didn't go to the meetings. He'd just hang out there a little bit, suit, cigar. He'd always give me a cigar. He moved down to Peru, had a girlfriend down there. So that guy was 65, 70, something like that. But they put him in charge when Jackie Presser became head of the union. They had a thing in Vegas. He said, "I got to get a band, and we're going to have a convention, union delegates, and all that. This big stuff." But he was the nicest guy in the world, kind of like Grandpa or something. I got to get a band and get a catering. He said, "I need to get a hold of a catering company to for the food and all that shit." Uh, he took. I thought, maybe I get in with. I said, "Barney, I want to drive heavy equipment, like $30 an hour and shit, 30, 35 an hour. It was good money back then. And driving bulldozers and shit, but you got to also start as an apprentice. If somebody, you told me up in Lancaster, I got some property in Palmdale, I'd like to get a job up there where I can try to build a house or get a mobile home. You need some money, you know." He said Lancaster over there, that's the rich people. He says, "Go there to the Union Hall." He gave me the address over there. And it's off the main drag and whatnot. I went over there. The guy said, "Listen, man," he says, "you got to wait. You got to come in. You got to wait 4 or 5 months to the next contract." He says, "You got to pay $800 under the table." Uh, that leaves me out. So now I'm looking in on Timu. They got these like little excavators, pieces of shit, Chinese crap, but they work. You know, I've seen some videos. That, $4,000 to $6,000. This is you could buy an excavator, go up to Pecos, play with it a little bit, clear the mesquite bushes. The the value of the land will increase. Make that money, but you got to wait. So, and I need to put the water in from the county road. Got to dig a ditch about 3 foot deep. Put your PVC pipe in there. Run it 600 feet to the property. So you got a little excavator with a get a small bucket. You know, it'd be a lot of work, but not with a shovel. You know, you could do that too, but like a ditch witch. It's like a chainsaw, only bigger, and it digs into the ground. Goes pretty quick. You dig, 3 foot down, and maybe a foot uh, wide, because you're only going to put like a 2 inch pipe in there. did 2 inches. You know, the thing's an inch or 2 inches or something, a chain like that. You just drill into it and just keep going. It'd take you all day. Fuck it. Problem is, the neighbors, they got a couple of oil tanks, and they put a connecting pipe right across my roadway, and where I'd like to put that water pipe. Now I don't know. It fucked me up. You know, I could go around it. You got to go about 6 blocks up on the other side of that tank and put that water, connect that water that way, and then bring it about 6 blocks. Then this is a fucking major project there. But now I don't know. I have to learn, or I could put a little pump in there right next to the meter. The water company put a meter for you, and you got to go from there to your property. So if I go, I don't know if that pipe ain't, if that pipe, well, one way or the other, if that pipe is, I don't know how deep it is because it had a little hump there by the ground, so maybe it's only a foot deep. So if I go 2 feet, you know, foot and a half, 2 feet deep, I can go underneath the pipe. You'd have to kind of drill. I got a little auger that goes on a drill. You make a 3 foot to go in your garden and your yard to drill you know, to put potted plants or whatever. You know, it's I don't know, 8 inches or something, and you could use that actually and just go at an angle underneath that pipe, or you know, dig out and then a little bit, and then go at an angle underneath the pipe, run your pipe underneath their pipe, and now that's gonna, because you gotta, if you go 3 foot, you probably wouldn't have to. Yeah, if you go 2 or 3 foot, 2.5, 3 foot, their pipe I think is a foot, so you'd be underneath their pipe, so that you get the water running through that and go over to by my property, and then it's still got I think there's enough water pressure. They were telling me it was like 10 pounds of what is it, 10 or 10 gallons a minute or something like that. There's enough pressure, I think, to, you got the meter, you're going to dip down, there's gravity, and you're going to go down 3 foot from the meter. I guess it's on the top of the dirt, and you're going to go down 3 foot or 2 foot. And when you get to your property, then now it's got to come uphill. The worst case scenario is you get a small pump. It costs you a couple $100. Now you got water pressure and clean water to drink and to shower and all that. Run your toilet. I got to get my head around that after a while. I'm just trying to fix this house, get every little thing. So that is, you know, I'm looking at the front. I was cleaning off that alcove with water, and I got a spray nozzle. I'm going to clean it, get all that dirt and shit off there. And I painted it. The fucking paint's gone. It was 20 years. And I'm cleaning the walls and the screen door. Get all that dust. El Paso got more dust, and I clean it off for the 4th of July. Make it presentable and get the cops off my ass. You know. So got some fireworks going on. Clean that up, and I'm looking at the top of the alcove above the locking screen door, where there's a leak up on the roof. I got to get a package of roof shingles. There's a leak inside where the door is. It's a little bit over there. The water's leaking in for about 3 years now. I gotta fix it. Put some shingles up there. I might put some of this roof sealer I bought. That's also a stick. It's going to seal up in between the shingles. They're going to overlap, but I put a little bit on there just to protect it from leaking. So won't cost much at all. So I got the right size, a 9-inch roller to put the paint on, or the sealer. I had a 12-inch roller. I wasn't paying attention. I didn't know there's a difference in the rollers. I got a pack of 6 of them. They're like 9-inch. So I put the 9-inch on the 12-inch, a little over halfway, and I tapped it down to make it stick. I get up there. It's sloppy. It's working though, but now I'm trying to get that roller, the brush off the roller. That motherfucker's glued on there. I'm hitting it with a hammer. Motherfucker ain't coming loose. I can cut it off. I got 6. I got 5 more. But anyhow, everybody have a good night. God bless you. Get ready for the 4th here. Okay. God bless.